So first and foremost, for all friends, family members, acquaintances, any of you that had any significant impact on Jack's life, thank you for your service. His family, thank you for your service. Because this right here doesn't happen by one man's efforts. It's a team effort. Just like everything in the Marine Corps is a team effort. This right here is a team effort. Now, he put in a lot of hours. He put in a lot of work. He's put in a lot of dedication. And for that, he should be congratulated. Absolutely congratulated. I tell all my lieutenants when they're newly minted that when your Marines do something that's a big deal, you make a big deal about it. Let me just tell you a little bit of how big a deal this really is. All right? The staff sergeants and I, in our daily grind, if you will, we meet a lot of young people. A lot of young people that tell us they want to do just this. And it is obvious well over half of them don't really mean it. They really don't. Of the ones that actually carry through with most of what we tell them they need to do to get here, only about 70% of them will actually get selected. So the ones that we put all the work into, and they put in the work to get to a board that will tell them whether or not they get to go, 30% of them will be told, I appreciate your interest, but you're not what we're looking for. Of that 70% that ends up getting the nod, the thumbs up, you got it. You're going to officer candidate school. Historically, 30 to 40% of them will not make it through. So Jack, for what you've done these last couple of years, well done.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jack's father will now administer the oath of office.
Of the United States. The Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. Foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith. That I will bear true faith. And allegiance to the same. And allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion. Or purpose of evasion. That I will well and faithfully. That I will well and faithfully. Discharge the duties. Discharge the duties. Of the office upon which I am about to enter. Of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God. So help me God.
At this time, will the family of Jack please come forward to pin on the bars? At this time, Lieutenant Moran will receive his first salute as a commissioned officer from his grandfather, Navy veteran Larry Michael Morse.
First off, I just want to thank everyone for coming. It's means a lot to see everyone here that
has had a big part of my life. People I just met a few months ago to people I've known my entire life. Captain and staff sergeants, my grandfather, my dad, my mom, my brother, my grandma, Runyon's, Caulfields, all the boys that came out today. Like Captain was saying, it's been a long time. Started on this journey January of 2016. So it's been about 2 years now, and I wish it could have come a little sooner, but I had to sit through some finance classes out at UCF to get that done. Who knows if I'll be doing accounting much, but hopefully not.
You'd be surprised.
Well, that's not too fun. I'd have to say one of the biggest inspirations for all this was obviously my dad. From the first time we plopped in Top Gun, some people say I look like Iceman, but I picture myself as more of a maverick. It's the privilege of being a U.S. Marine is kind of overwhelming. It's hard to put into words, as you can see, so I'm going to keep it at that, and hopefully you can understand what that means. That's it.
I'm not new at this. Anyways, just real quick, thanks to everybody for being here. Like Jack said, this is a huge big deal for our family and for him. I'd like to thank everybody here, Captain Dellinger, Staff Sergeant Cotton, Staff Sergeant Juice. They have great stories, and I'm not going to, if they're going to stick around a little bit, they have some great stories and what they did in their jobs and things like that. We have a pilot, someone who maintains aircraft and their records and keeps us pilots safe. I wish he had been in the Air Force. Maybe my Air Force airplane wouldn't have crashed if I had her there in the Marine Corps. Staff Sergeant Juice, I've heard some great stories. He used to drive for the current commandant, and the commandant apparently told him he would be a permanent recruiter because he'd been shot at enough. So, but anyways, God bless you guys. Real quick, naval history in our family. There's Larry over there. He served 20 years in submarines. Lost his hair on like year 3, I believe, being in the submarines. A great family there and a great Navy tradition. Liz's family. Of course, Tony, my first wife, gave birth to Jack. She passed away in 2000. And then I remarried Liz. An angel showed up. Her family, she adopted Jack, and she's his mother now. But her family has a long history in the Royal Navy. She lost an uncle in World War II. Her father served honorably in World War II on a ship. So a great family there. My father was in the U.S. Navy, onboard carriers. He was on board a carrier in the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Here with the newly commissioned Second Lieutenant Jack Moran, graduate of Merritt Island High School and University of Central Florida. Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Thank you, Tom.
The question that really begs to be asked is, what does this mean to you, especially in view of the fact that your father and grandfather were here?
I think it means more than I can put into words exactly. Becoming U.S. Marine is something that I've thought about for 10, 15 years since I could even remember. And I started this journey back in January of 2016, going to officer candidate school that May, and it's kind of been building up inside of me until this moment, and it's overwhelming to have everyone here and I'm at a loss of words, honestly, for what this all encompasses and what it really means to be a Marine and serve the country. Well, Officer Candidate School was a 10-week course up in Quantico, Virginia, and that was broken into different phases, sort of breaking us down and building us back up towards the end, where they tested leadership, academic, and physical capabilities. As Captain Dellinger was saying, it's not for the faint of heart. You gotta have a strong mind and a strong body at the same time. That was something that there was no way I was gonna quit, but I saw a lot of guys quit, whether due to, they just couldn't take the mental down, everyday pounding of that and physical capabilities, and it was something that your body took so much of a toll over the 10 weeks, and there were so many challenges that you faced every day, waking up at 03:30 and not getting much more than 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night. So that was something that you really can't explain to someone what it was like, and unless they've been there and they can share with that common accomplishment.
Right. Now, Lieutenant, let's talk about your future. Tell us what you can about what's coming up next.
So from here, I will be heading back to Quantico, Virginia after this, and I'll be leaving in May. That will be for 6 months to go to the basic school, where I will basically be trained as a second lieutenant. Everyone will be trained as a second lieutenant in the Marines as far as infantry skills go, land navigation, firing range, all that fun stuff that we didn't get to do at OCS all that much. And then from TBS, I will be headed to Pensacola, Florida for flight training, and that'll be anywhere from 1 to 3 years depending on the platform I receive, whether it be fixed wing, rotary wing, or tilt rotor. But looking forward to doing my best up at flight school, which is the big kicker.
I'm the officer selection officer for most of Central Florida. And we're here now at John Wilson Moran's commissioning ceremony. And just to talk a little bit about how this process has happened for Jack and how it's happened for a lot of young people. So I never actually met Jack in the beginning. I was not the one that found him, if you will, as a recruiter. I kind of adopted him from the guy that I took over for. So Jack came to the office around January 2 years ago, so just about 2 years ago, almost to the day. And he came to the office and basically wanted more information or decided that this is something he'd already done the research on, obviously because his dad is someone who's been through it for 20 plus years. So it's something he knows pretty well. He said, basically, I want to make this happen. When we meet a candidate like Jack, a lot goes into seeing if they're even qualified. And then once we go through the medical screening, the academic screening, the moral screening, and a plethora of other intricacies to see if they're qualified, then we've got to determine whether that individual is competitive. So one of the things that we talked about earlier is that of the individuals that come to us, like Jack did, and say, this is something I want to make happen, well over half of those individuals will really see it through to the end. And that end is different for many people. That end may be actually getting selected, like Jack did, or about 30% of the individuals that even make it to the selection board. 30% of them will not get selected. They'll be told basically that we appreciate your interest or your desire to serve your nation, but you don't really have what we're looking for. So obviously Jack is part of that 70% that got a letter that said you have been selected for officer candidate school with the Marine Corps, and he then went to officer candidate school 2 summers ago for 10 weeks. And in that 10-week session, while he was still in school during the summer, that 10 weeks, historically, 30 to 40% of the candidates that show up will not make it through the training that Jack went through. And the interesting thing specifically about Jack is I usually end up talking to most of my candidates every weekend to see how they're doing, to see how the training's going, to see what kind of challenges they might be undertaking. And usually to offer some kind of guidance or correction or anything that they might need, or direction for the training. The interesting thing is, anytime I got information from Jack, it was, nope, sir, don't need anything, I'm doing just fine. And so he was what we like to call a very low maintenance applicant or candidate for officer candidate school, and he did. He did it, and he had very little struggle while he was there because he put in the work. He put in the work. I like to tell my candidates all the time that it's just like boxing, that champions are not made in the ring, they're just recognized there. Well, the same thing goes for officer candidate school. Officers are not made at officer candidate school, they're simply recognized there. So, and that's the path that Jack has been on. In the particular program that Jack is in, he didn't just have to go through officer candidate school, he had to return back to college and finish out school there. And that can be a challenge sometimes. And he had some particular challenges he had to overcome, and that's part of it. And he did very well. So if anybody would like to learn more about this program, or like to know if they have what it takes to do this, they can reach me at 321-436-0517. That's my personal cell phone number. So if you want to reach me, you can text me, you can call me. You can also go to marineofficer.com if you just want to learn more and see what's out there for you.
Major Eddie Moran, Lieutenant Jack Moran's father, the newly minted Lieutenant Jack Moran. And Eddie, this must be a very proud day for you.
Oh, it's a great day. It's kind of scary. I mean, sending your kid off, to the Marine Corps. It's kind of scary, but very proud of him. Yeah, I was commissioned in 1983, so it's a long time ago. But I just remember being scared, like he probably was up there, terrified. Everybody looking at me and stuff. But as a father, it's a whole new perspective. It's pretty amazing.
Right.
Just a couple years, he's going to be out flying and fighting ISIS, fighting somebody, and it's scary as a father, but it's
right.
pretty dang exciting when you're up there.